pump it louder, pump it louder, pump it louder, pump it louder. What are you doing? What are you doing? It's time to start the show. Why are you singing to Tyler? Pump it louder, pump it louder. Sorry, Timmy. Me and Tyler's got carried away. We're practicing for our talent show. We're going to do a Black Eyed Peas song for the talent show. We're just practicing. Louder! Good job, Tyler. Okay, Timmy, let's kick this football scientific episode off. Hey, I am Aaron Sutter. I'm a writer for the UFL News Hub and the CFL News Hub. I write about the San Antonio Brahmas in the UFL, the Hamilton Tiger Cats in the CFL. I write about the IFL, the Indoor Football League, the NAL, National Arena League, and the ELF, the European League of Football. On Football Scientific, we talk about all those leagues, plus the NFL, and any big news happening in the world of football. This is my co-host, Timmy the Trash Talking Tiger Shark. What up, my peeps? I am here to attack this show aggressively. I am Tay, the Trash Talking Tiger Shark. Whoa, Timmy, calm down. All right, Timmy, we have an exciting show. It's going to be a short but sweet show. It's been a long day of football. But we're going to make this short and sweet. Tomorrow, look out for an episode where I talk about the quarterbacks in the IFL. There were some rankings released by the IFL League website. I have made a few adjustments. I'm going to talk about those quarterbacks, hopefully to get better predictions for the second week of IFL. Going 1 and 2, not good enough. Okay, we're hoping to turn this thing up, and we'll have the UFL predictions. They start playing this weekend. Remember, we have our short series about the UFL teams. Those games start Friday night with St. Louis and the Houston Roughnecks. That's the plan there. But first, biggest news of the day. Biggest half of the quarterback puzzle has been finished. Okay, the New York Giants in the NFL. The New York Giants have agreed to sign Super Bowl winning quarterback Russell Wilson, okay, to a 1-year contract for $10.5 million guaranteed, and it can get up to $21 million with incentives. I love a contract like that. It is a proven contract. Russell Wilson stunk it up with Denver. He got paid a ton of money though. He stunk it up with the Pittsburgh Steelers. He got paid a ton of money though. So now the Giants are doing something smart for once, and they're saying, we're going to pay you $10.5 million, but if you outperform that, you'll get $21 million and maybe another year to the New York Giants. In case you don't remember, the year Russell Wilson won a Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks, they did it in MetLife Stadium, the home of the Giants. So maybe there's some positive mojo there. That's going to be the craziest quarterback room. You know, you're going to have Jameis Winston talking about the snow. You're going to have Russell Wilson talking about whatever he talks about. And then you may have Shedeur Sanders over in the corner just sitting there shaking going, these guys are crazy, man. Why am I in the Giants when I got Jameis Winston over here doing magic tricks and I got Russell Wilson over here doing whatever Russell Wilson does? It's weird. I don't know what he's doing, okay? But it's not quite as weird as Aaron Rodgers. But he's with the Giants now. So for Aaron Rodgers, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, the Giants are off the table. Boop. One last point of leverage for Aaron Rodgers. Another big signing. The New England Patriots have signed free agent wide receiver Stephon Diggs. Remember yesterday, I talked about Stephon Diggs putting on social media him doing a workout with his knee. He tore his ACL in week 8 of the season last year against the Colts. He was out the rest of the season. He's coming back off an ACL. That's a risky situation if you're signing a guy, okay? But he was working out. He's showing, I'm healthy, man. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. He's ready to go. I guess he's ready to go, okay? Well, the New England Patriots took the bait, and they took the bait. That's not a positive way of saying it, but that's true. They took the bait. Taking the bait is not good. Nope, not for Tiger Sharks. Okay, so they signed him to a 3-year deal for $69 million. But he gets $26 million guaranteed. He's gotta not be injured. You know, he's gonna get the whole $69 million. He's gotta play football. 26 guarantees, pretty good though. 3-year contract for a guy coming with ACL. I wouldn't do it. I'm glad Buffalo didn't do it. Thank you, Buffalo, for not being the team to make that call. I mean, it may come back and burn you. But if you look at that Patriots offense, it is hot garbage, okay? Hot garbage. So I don't think we have anything to worry about. Speaking of the Buffalo Bills, earlier this free agency, before free agency, they cut edge rusher, outside linebacker Von Miller because he's getting old and he's not performing up to his contract. Well, today, in some random comment, he said, hey, man, I wouldn't mind going back to Denver, you know. I had some good times and never won a Super Bowl with Peyton Manning and stuff. Maybe we could win a Super Bowl again. I don't know. He likes Denver. And he's just trying to go back. It's like when you break up with an ex and you try to go back. And he's doing that with the Broncos now. He's trying to go back to the Broncos after he broke up with the Buffalo Bills. And they shouldn't take him back. Don't take him back. Boop. Okay. Next. I mentioned last week the NFL was considering kickoff adjustments. I thought maybe they'd go away from the XFL kickoff. It's sad because I like that kickoff. I like the close quarters that they kick the ball and the guy move when they catch the ball and stuff. I like that. Okay, but so they made they were going to make adjustments. They were going to do that at the end of the month. That's the end of the month now. League meetings. Okay. The adjustments they decided to make, or are trying to make, or are talking about making, or something's going to happen sometime, somewhere, maybe, is that they're going to change the touchback. The touchback right now, if you kick it in through the end zone, it doesn't come out of the end zone, you get the balls and offense at the 30-yard line. So you get pushed. It used to be the 20-yard line, then it was the 25-yard line, and now it's the 30-yard line. Well, they're trying to change the rule to the 35-yard line. They don't want touchbacks. They want returns. They want, exciting returns, okay? So you're not going to get that when everyone's kicking it out of the back of the end zone. Now, in the UFL, they're going back to the XFL style kick, I believe. But they kick off from the 20. So, I mean, that would be an easier solution. Just kick off from the 20, but I'm not the NFL. Obviously, I'm not in the NFL. If I was, we would just move the kicker back to the 20. We'd keep the touchback at 30, and we'd all be good. We wouldn't get any touchbacks. But, oh well, not my job. Cleveland Browns, they said are open now to trading down from the number 2 pick. Okay, why? Because they were going to pick Shadur Sanders at quarterback, but then Deshaun Watson said, I'm coming back. And they're like, oh, crap, we can't cut Deshaun Watson now. I thought he was going to retire or something. That guy is coming off the Achilles. We figured he was going to call it quits. He said he's coming back. So now they don't feel like they can draft a quarterback without making everyone angry. Kenny Pickett and Deshaun Watson and whoever else they have there. It's a lot of people. Quarterback graveyard, just like the Colts. So they're saying we're open to trading down for number 2. Once again, if I was the Steelers, I would trade with them. Now you're probably not going to see the Steelers and the Cleveland Browns get along like that. But if I was the Steelers, I would trade with them. I would go down to number 2 and pick a real quarterback instead of messing around with Aaron Rodgers, who's just trying to drift y'all for money. Okay, but that's not my call. If it was, we'd probably win a Super Bowl with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay. Speaking of Aaron Rodgers says, "Man, I'm just looking for a team with a culture that was like the Packers when I was there." It's like he left the Packers because he was angry. What's this guy talking about? He's just talking. It doesn't make any sense. I'm looking for a team like the Packers. You left the Packers for the Jets. Ew. Because you thought that was better. Now you're looking for the Packers? Here's what he's saying. I still want to be a Minnesota Viking. The Steelers are going to stink. I don't want to be a Steeler. I want to stink with the Jets. I want to win a Super Bowl. And the Vikings could win a Super Bowl. Now, I mentioned last week, the Vikings said, nah, we don't need Aaron Rodgers. We got J.J. McCarthy. And he's about to rock this thing out and take us to the Super Bowl. But then today they released a statement going, we never said that. We didn't say that to J.J. McCarthy. We may have said that to someone, but we didn't say it to J.J. McCarthy. So takesy-backsy, it doesn't count. So Aaron Rodgers is like, well, I guess if you're not attached to J.J. McCarthy, you can take Aaron Rodgers on. And the Vikings are like, bruh, for real? Maybe. The Steelers are like, what? Hey, the 21st, agree to come with us. We brought you in. You tasted all the applesauce. How are you going to go to the stupid Vikings now that they told you no? They love J.J. McCarthy, but now they're like, we never told J.J. that. We want something else, maybe. Maybe not. It's so confusing. Russell Wilson's off the table, though. He's with the Giants. So Aaron Rodgers can't go to the Giants now. Boo! Take that, Aaron Rodgers. One less option. He still wants to go to the Vikings. He doesn't say that out loud, but he's saying that. I want a team that's like the Packers. And they're like, we're not like the Packers. What are you talking about, Aaron Rodgers? We're just like the Packers. And he's like, I know. It's like you're playing indoors. I like that. What's that accent? Timmy, what is that accent? What are you doing? Is that supposed to be Forrest Gump or something? You call Aaron Rodgers Forrest? He came here trying to kill us. Oh, yeah, I forgot. I shouldn't make fun of Aaron Rodgers. You're right, Timmy. All right. Boom. Quarterback Zach Wilson. And you're saying to yourself, Zach Wilson, who is that? Well, he was drafted by the Jets a while back, and he stunk up the roof. And he had some weird thing about dating his mom's friends. It was weird. Well, he thinks he could be a quarterback still in the league. He did sign with Miami to be a backup quarterback, but he's like, I could still be a quarterback. I don't know how people in Utah talk. He's from Utah, Mormon and such. How do they talk? Hey, man, I could be a quarterback. He's a Dolphin, a backup and a Dolphin behind Tua Tagovailoa. All right. Now, another confusing situation. The Cincinnati Bengals. Recently, it was said Cincinnati Bengals and defensive end Trey Hendrickson, no chance. They should just trade him, or Trey Hendrickson sitting out. This is bipolar, because now the Bengals are like, bro, why are you trying to get traded? After they gave him permission to search out a trade, they're like, why are you trying to get traded? We're trying to negotiate with you. We want to sign you a contract extension. Little known fact, he still has 1 year on his contract, but it's for $15.8 million. And because Myles Garrett got paid $40 million for 4 years, that's why Trey Hendrickson's doing this. I'm going to sit out a year. You're still going to be with the Bengals for a year. That year won't count. Let him sit out. I've changed my stance on this. Let him sit out. The good business move is to let him sit out, lose his contract. We will keep the $15.8 million, and then he can play next year. Yeah, in 2026. 2026. Take that, Trey Hendrickson. We're trying to hold us hostage. Okay. So the Bengals are like, we're trying to negotiate, bro, but you're not making any sense. I'm sure the Bengals are not making any sense either. They're really good at not making any sense. This situation is crazy. On the trade front, it sounds like the Indianapolis Colts, that now have the D coordinator that was with the Bengals. He's with the Colts now. I forget his name. I guess it wasn't that good. I forgot his name. He's not that good. The Bengals had a horrible defense last year. But the Indianapolis Colts are like, we'll take Trey Hendrickson. We'll probably pay him way too much money and destroy our salary cap. Take that. We'll be bad for another 10 years. The Commanders are like, we'll take Trey Hendrickson. We're like a red rusher away from winning the NFC. Let's give us Trey Hendrickson. And then the Falcons are like, we need an edge rusher. The Falcons have no plan. They're just like the Bengals. They'll probably overpay Trey Hendrickson too. You know what? If I'm Trey Hendrickson, I'm going to the Washington Commanders. I don't care what they pay me. Take the 15.8, go win a Super Bowl, and then negotiate next year. He's not going to do that, I don't think. I think he wants to stay with the Bengals. He just doesn't want to play for $15.8 million. I'll play for $15.8 million. Sign me up. Send me the money. Cincinnati. If you send me $15.8 million today, I will play as much as Trey Hendrickson will for you next year. Okay? None. None. I'll take the 15.8 though, for reals. That's going to buy a lot of chum. It is going to buy a lot of chum, Timmy. $15.8 million for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm down. Give me the money. Hey, New York Giants are now being considered to be a front runner to pick quarterback Shedeur Sanders in the NFL draft with this number 3 pick right now, number 3 pick. They've been going all over the place. So they got, Jameis Winston. They got Russell Wilson now. They might draft Shedeur Sanders at number 3. They might, trade down to number 2, which would be stupid. Why would you trade down to number 2 and pick Shedeur? It doesn't make any sense. I don't know. They've been told they're going to pick up Abdul Carter. They're all over the place. When you're not a good team, you find yourself being all over the place. Now I've heard they want to pick Shedeur Sanders. I saw earlier in the week, late last week, that they're the only team that thinks that he's a first-round draft pick. He's a first-round draft pick. They're one of the only teams that think he's a first-round draft pick. This time of year, you can't tell who's telling the truth because everyone's trying to set everyone else up, Speaking of setting people up, I mentioned the Tennessee Titans had a heavy presence at Cam Ward's workout at University of Miami. Well, they're going to hold a private workout with Cam Ward to see if he has what they need. They have the overall pick, number 1 overall pick in the draft still. They're pointing all signs of picking Cam Ward. I've also heard they're rolling the trade down, kind of like the Browns, but they're not saying that right now. They're saying, no, we're bringing in Cam Ward. We want to pick up Cam Ward. Okay? Or do they really want to pick up Cam Ward? They're just trying to get a really good price for that number 1 pick. From this point, you can't trust anything from these NFL teams. They're always putting fake stuff out there trying to redirect people to get a better deal. Tennessee Titans, if you get Cam Ward, you've destroyed another young man's career. I couldn't have that on my conscience. He should hope he doesn't get picked there. Or the Giants. Steelers. That's a better fit. Aaron Rodgers might get signed there, though, April 21st. He might get signed there April 9th. I guess Pat McAfee is doing a big show in Pittsburgh. And the rumors today on the Sirius radio was that he's going to come out like WWE style. And he's going to be, Aaron Rodgers is in the house. I'm going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler, yo. And he's going to announce it that way on April 9th to fire everyone up. We'll see. It could come and go just like it has every other time with Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. He could go to the Vikings. The Vikings said they didn't promise anything to J.J. McCarthy, even though they kind of did. It's getting confusing out there. Baltimore Ravens. They agree to terms for quarterback Chidobe Awuzie for a 1-year contract. That means they're about to sign it probably tomorrow. Las Vegas Raiders. They have signed former Carolina Panthers free agent tight end Ian Thomas. No contract details offered. San Francisco 49ers are now expected to trade wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. I mentioned last week the Browns were like, we'll trade for Brandon Ayuk. And the Niners were like, maybe. But now they're like, no, we're keeping Brandon Ayuk. Minnesota Vikings have not told J.J. McCarthy he's going to be a starting quarterback, opening the door for Aaron Rodgers to come back into the picture. We'll see if that happens or not. Pittsburgh Steelers have claimed offensive lineman Leslie Smith. If you remember, late last week, he was released by the New England Patriots. The Pittsburgh Steelers picked him up off waivers, super cheap. That's probably a good call. He might be a decent lineman. Boop. In the UFL, the Memphis Showboats added more information to what they're planning to do on Sunday in their first game. Remember, Ken Wisenhunt had to leave, probably for the season. He said personal reasons. He's saying family reasons, but who knows why. He's gone. Bye, Ken Wisenhunt. About to say goodbye today. About to go somewhere else anyway. Ken Wisenhunt is bye, baby. Bye. Memphis Showboats. So, what are they going to do? Well, their offensive line coach, Jim Turner, is going to be their interim head coach. While Ken Wisenhunt was supposed to be the offensive coordinator and head coach, tight end and wide receivers coach TJ Vernier, he's going to be working with Jim Turner. He's going to call offensive plays using Ken Wisenhunt's offense, but with a simpler package so it's easier for him and Jim Turner to figure out what to call. Jim Turner will be heavily involved in the calls, so I guess they're doing like a co-OC thing to make Jim Turner feel better about being the head coach on an interim basis. It sounds like a disaster. I predict the Memphis Showboats probably get boat raced by Michigan. Because they have a good offensive line, defensive line. Memphis has nothing good. That's why Ken Whisenhunt left. He's like, we're bad at everything. Playoffs? We're not going to the playoffs. We're not going to play a game. I'm out. I'm Ken Whisenhunt. That was my Jim Moore impersonation. Sorry. Oh, hey, late last night, the Birmingham Stallions, they signed inside linebacker DeMarquis Gates. He's an inside linebacker. He played at Mississippi. Here's the thing. They picked him up off the did not report the camp list. This goes back. This is very frustrating. Okay? UFL teams went to training camp. You would like to think training camp means something. But like this is like the third team to pick up a dude after training camp that didn't report to training camp. What's the value of going to training camp? Now I'm starting to see why these players wanted to strike. Okay? First of all, you're not getting your healthcare, very good healthcare plan, and you're having a hard time getting paid. But then some guys got to go to camp and work and get injured. His injury lists for this week, I'll talk about that on Thursday. We talk about predictions, are crazy. So guys are getting hurt in camp and then having to go play the season and maybe messing up their UFL career while these other dudes just show up, 3 days before the game and like, I'm going to play. And the Birmingham Stallions, Arlington Renegades, DC Defenders are like, okay, we don't care. Just try to win the game. Some positive news of San Antonio Brahmas. Kellen Mond did an interview with UFL insider James Larson, and he said, I am ready to lead San Antonio Brahmas. My goal is to become the starter here. I am the starter here. I'm going to lead this thing. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I had this clever thing I said. I made this quote. It's not a real quote from Kellen Mond. He's not this clever, I don't think. He went to Texas A&M. He's not clever. He's like, giddy up. Now, that's the Stallions thing. I don't want to get beat up at a Stallions game. I better not make fun of giddy up. Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine, Timmy. I thought I was a quarterback in the IFL. I'm choking. Just kidding. TJ Edwards. Kellen Mond, he's ready to take the bull by the horns and lead the San Antonio Brahmas starting this weekend. Boom. They play Saturday. I'm doing a short series about the UFL teams. I got 2 of them done. I did them yesterday. I'm going to do 2 more. Probably one tomorrow, one Thursday. Been a busy day of football. We'll have more stories. We're my IFL quarterbacks tomorrow and ranking those. Hopefully they'll help in the predictions. If there's something else you'd like for me to talk about, football-oriented or science-oriented, I'm happy to do so. Leave me a comment. I'll check it out, and I'll add it. I can talk about anything. Quantum physics, regular physics, Newtonian mechanics, chemical bonds, chemical reactions, limiting reagents. I can talk about the limiting reagents of every NFL team. I should write that one down. That's a story. So let me know. Let me know what you want. This is not my show. It's our show. It's our show. The Everyman Show. I'm not a TV star. I don't have fancy side effects. I don't have cool stuff. I'm just a dude that loves football, is talking about football in a real way. If you want to talk about something, let me know. And we'll chat. Not directly. I'll make a tape video. That's probably the better answer. I hope you have a good night. Thanks for joining us for Football Scientific. You're good enough. You're smart enough. And gosh dang it, people like you. People like you. Tiger sharks like you. I like you. Dun dun. Dun dun. Remember to check out UFL News Hub for some articles I've written about the Brahmas. I'll probably be doing a game preview if I got time Friday. Check out articles on the CFL News Hub about the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Check out my Substack, where I talk about the Brahmins and Hamilton Tiger Cats. If you like Football Scientific, subscribe. Have your friends subscribe. Have everyone subscribe. If you want to sponsor us, send me some money. I'll read a promo for you. Underdog Sports. Ooh. DraftKings. Whoa. I could do that for pay. Let's get this subscriber list to like 1,000 ASAP. Like the video if you like it. If you don't like it, tell me what you like, and I'll do that. Nothing creepy, y'all. Nothing creepy. I'm not here for that. This is a football show. A family-oriented football show. Isn't that right, Tyler? Family-oriented. We don't cuss. We don't gamble. We don't do creepy stuff. This isn't OnlyFans, bruh. It's not OnlyFans. It's YouTube. This is an all-ages video. Subscribe and like the video. We'll be back tomorrow to talk about IFL quarterbacks.